They won't talk about this part. The part where you disappear. The part where your name stops getting called. The part where the noise fades and suddenly you're alone with your thoughts, your doubts, your failures replaying like a cruel movie you can't pause. Because comeback stories always skip the silence. They skip the nights you stare at the ceiling, questioning everything you believed in. They skip the mornings where getting out of bed feels heavier than lifting a mountain. But let me tell you something nobody tells you. The real comeback is born in isolation, not in applause, not in motivation speeches, but in that quiet moment where you finally accept that nobody is coming to save you. Where you realize that the version of you that failed was not weak, just unfinished, just unprepared for the weight of greatness. Because greatness doesn't knock politely. It crashes. It breaks you first. It strips you of comfort, confidence, pride, and leaves you raw, exposed, embarrassed, misunderstood, judged by people who never had the courage to try in the first place. And while they move on, while they laugh, while they label you as done, finished, over, something dangerous starts growing inside you. Something silent, something patient, something angry but focused. Because pain when ignored becomes poison, but pain when accepted becomes power. And you stop talking, you stop explaining, you stop defending yourself. Because you've realized explanations don't change minds, results do. And that's where the shift happens. Not overnight, not dramatically, but slowly, painfully, like rebuilding a broken bone stronger than before. You start waking up earlier not because you feel motivated, but because discipline has replaced motivation. You train when it hurts. You work when you're tired. You learn when you're confused. You move forward even when clarity hasn't arrived yet. Because waiting for perfect conditions is how dreams die. And every rep you do when nobody is watching. Every hour you put in when no one is clapping. Every sacrifice you make that nobody sees is quietly stacking up, forming a version of you that doesn't need validation anymore. Because you've been humiliated enough to stop caring about opinions. You've been underestimated enough to stop seeking approval. And this is the most dangerous phase. The phase where you're calm. Because calm after chaos is not weakness, it's control. And control beats talent, beats luck, beats motivation every single time. And while others are busy posting progress, you're busy becoming progress. While they talk, you build. While they sleep, you sharpen. Because this comeback is not about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Proving that the pain didn't break you, it trained you. Proving that the delay wasn't denial, it was preparation. Because life didn't say no to you, it said not yet. And now you move differently. You think differently. You don't rush. You don't beg. You don't chase attention. You let your consistency speak. Your discipline roar. Your growth shock people who thought you were finished. And one day, without announcing it, without warning, without drama, you show up stronger, smarter, colder, more focused, more dangerous than the version they defeated. Because they defeated an old you, a naive you. A version that hadn't learned the cost of winning yet. But this version knows. This version has paid in sweat, tears, loneliness, and self-doubt. And paid in full. And when they finally notice you again, it won't be because you asked for attention. It will be because your presence demands it. Because a true comeback doesn't need noise. It needs impact. It needs results so loud they silence every doubt that once echoed in your head. And the best part, the most powerful part, is that the same pain that almost ended you is now the fuel that drives you. The same failure that embarrassed you is now the lesson that guides you. And the same silence that scared you is now your weapon. Because you learned how to grow without praise, how to fight without backup, how to stand without support. And once you master that, nothing, absolutely nothing can stop you. Because a person who has lost everything and rebuilt themselves from the ground up is not afraid anymore. They are focused, and focus is lethal. So let them remember you as the one who fell. Because history will remember you as the one who came back. Stronger, not louder, not luckier, but forged by pressure, sharpened by struggle, and unstoppable because you refused to stay down when staying down was easier. And that is not just a comeback, that is domination. Because domination doesn't end at proving strength, it begins when you outgrow the need to prove anything at all. When you realize that the loudest flex is consistency over time. Not a moment of hype, not a viral clip, not a temporary win, but the quiet terror of knowing you will show up again. Tomorrow and the day after that, and the day after that, no matter how you feel. Because feelings change, but standards don't. And at this stage, you're no longer chasing motivation. You're chasing mastery. You're obsessed with refining details others ignore. Tightening habits others mock. Perfecting skills others quit when they stop being fun. And this is where people misunderstand you the most. They call you obsessed, cold, distant, arrogant. When in reality, you're just no longer available for distractions. No longer willing to trade your future for temporary comfort. Because you remember too clearly what it felt like to be at the bottom, to be laughed at, to be invisible. And you refuse to ever go back there again. So you build systems instead of relying on moods. You build structure instead of hoping for luck. You build resilience instead of chasing confidence. Because confidence comes after proof, not before it. And every small promise you keep to yourself repairs a piece of the self-trust that was shattered when you failed. And slowly that inner voice that once doubted you starts to respect you. Because it sees the work, it sees the discipline, it sees that you no longer run when things get hard. And this internal respect is worth more than any external applause. Because once you believe in yourself again, not blindly but based on evidence, you become dangerous in a different way. You move with patience. You respond instead of reacting. You choose progress over ego. And when setbacks come, and they will come, you don't collapse anymore. You adjust, you analyze, you adapt. Because setbacks are no longer signs to stop. They are signals to evolve. And the irony is that the very people who once doubted you will start asking for advice, asking how you did it, asking what changed, and you'll smile quietly. Because what changed wasn't a secret. It was your willingness to suffer longer than they were willing to try. And you won't need to explain the nights you trained when no one cared. The sacrifices you made that nobody noticed. The temptations you ignored. The comfort you denied yourself. Because those things were never meant to be understood by everyone. Only by those who are willing to pay the same price. And as your results compound, as your growth becomes undeniable, you'll realize that the comeback wasn't a moment. It was a process. A long, brutal, beautiful process of becoming someone you can respect. And the most powerful realization hits you then. That you don't fear failure anymore. Because failure already introduced itself to you and you survived it. You don't fear judgment. Because you've already been judged at your worst. And you don't fear hard work. Because hard work is now your comfort zone. And this is where freedom lives. Not in success alone, but in knowing that no matter what happens next, you have the discipline, the mindset, and the resilience to rebuild again if you have to. Stronger each time. Because you are no longer defined by a single loss or a single win. You are defined by your ability to rise repeatedly. And that makes you unstoppable in a way luck can never replicate, talent can never guarantee, and shortcuts can never produce. Because this strength was earned, layer by layer, scar by scar, decision by decision. And when the world finally sees you standing tall again, they'll think it was sudden, overnight, unexpected. But you'll know the truth, that this comeback was written in silence, fueled by pain, guided by discipline, and finished with an unbreakable mindset. And from this point on, you don't just survive storms, you walk through them calmly, knowing that pressure no longer scares you, it sharpens you. And whatever comes next, whatever challenge dares to stand in your way, will have to face a version of you that already knows how to fall, how to rebuild, and how to come back stronger every single time.